Hello and welcome to Bend the Knee, a Song of Ice and Fire podcast. I am Sir Matt. Wow, people already in here. Agreed. Wow. I'll be honest, fresh out of watching that episode. This might be top 10 like a Song of Ice and Fire for me. I mean all of it. I feel the same way right now. This is just my initial thoughts. Maybe I'm overhyping it, maybe I don't know. I'm like Viserys's walk, Tyrion's trial, Hodor. Hodor is still like so incredibly amazing because it was like this amazing, huge reveal. But this was a great episode. I mean, yeah. This is obvious. This is gonna be full spoiler here, but Summer Hall, man. I think I don't know. I have to see. Like my wife, she's a casual watcher. She didn't say anything. I'll see if my mom, those are the people that I always talk to see what they think about it, to see like, oh, is that actually going to be anything? I don't know. So, but man, let me lower my camera here a little bit. My desk, I should say. Unbelievable. Goosebumps, and it's only going to get better. Wow. Let's see what some other people are saying. Love the episode. The kid playing Egg is crushing it. Who is Dexter Saul? Another comment here. Dexter Saul Ansel. Yeah, I believe is his name. Unreal. He is Egg. As much as we thought that Dunk was like after episode 2, I was like, man, Peter Claffey as Dunk is so good. Whoo, he crushed being Egg. How do we feel about them spoiling Egg becoming? I guess it depends on what new episode Friday. Okay. I guess it just depends. I think that's good to not release it on Friday with the Super Bowl. I didn't know that was even the thing. I just assumed it was that, but okay. Yeah, I don't know. It depends. Yeah. Yes, exactly. I love Chris Durable here saying Summer Hall spoilers was fine. Remember, we're the outliers in the audience. They need things like that for the normies. Totally fine with it. I guess the new episode's coming out on Friday. I think with the Super Bowl, that's a great idea. So you don't want the episodes getting tanked. But yeah, the Summer Hall bit I was not expecting, but I straight up lost it. I texted Jimmy, by the way, and Jimmy, it's so late for him. It's like 10:30. He's got to work all day. And he's like, man, I'll watch it in the morning. He's like, but it was that good. I'm like, dude, I was like, I don't want to tell you that you need to stay up till midnight, and do all this. But I was like, you need to watch the episode right now. It's that good. I believe I saw it right after the preview. Okay, I'll look into that. We'll take a look into that. But oh my God, phenomenal episode. Let's see what people are saying here. Let's see here. The philosophical talk about Alice, which is completely original writing, was so good. Take notes, D&D. You don't need the books for good writing. Yeah, and that's a note I actually have here. So I have a line here, and I said the filler that they're adding is absolutely fantastic, because I feel like rather than trying to tell their own story or adapt it in their own way, of course, George is writing this. So, it's expanding the character and it's helping the overall story. Like the first thing that comes to mind when I think of filler is like anime. That's just because what I have more of a background with. And a lot of anime fillers, like just like totally made up stuff to fill out episodes. You see it in lots of adaptations and things like that. But I would say anime is probably the like worst in terms of filler. You go watch Dragon Ball or One Piece or any of this stuff, and there's so much extra added to it, and oftentimes it just doesn't feel, you can feel that it's not nearly as good. This is freaking phenomenal. And if you go back to the episodes of Game of Thrones, George wrote 4 episodes of Game of Thrones, and one of the episodes he wrote was the Syrio Forel with Arya. Like, what do we say to the god of death? Not today. that's George, and look at how it's totally shaped and changed that one character. And so you can tell, you can clearly see his influence on this. Again, I don't want to turn this into a big like, oh, this first House of the Dragon. Um, but I don't know. You might be able to see it a little bit. The Summerhall King stuff is fine because it kind of played off as a joke on Dunk's end. So I think the normies will completely brush over it and forget it. And they might just think that she's crazy. Of course, though, then at the end, it is revealed that he is a Targaryen. So you have that amazing detail for the armor in the episodes, the horses and helms, Ryan, in here as well. I agree. Man, there's so much. Let's just start getting through some of it. Freaking phenomenal. Again, another opening scene. Love the lighting, and loved Egg there, training with the horse. We did get some more poop, but at least it's a horse this scene. Loving all these scenes. I said best training montage I've seen in film in a while. Then we're immediately reminded, that's one of the things we talked about going into this is like, is it still going to be Game of Thrones? Yes, it is. There's blood, man. You straight up see Robin Reisling, by the way, who is one of the people who will end up being one of Dunk's champions, or to go along with him. And Egg is talking to him. So that was a cool thing. I said, man, the Dunk Egg relationship is going to be so good. Egg asking him, did I catch this correctly? Did Egg say to Dunk, I'm making sure I heard this correctly. He said, I have black hairs on my stones. Is that normal? Is that what was said? I just kind of heard it, thought that's what it was, started laughing, and then I'm trying to take notes, and here, let's see here. As pretty much an unsullied for all things Dunk and Egg, I'm loving it. It's so good, man. This episode was just phenomenal. There's so much, the teasing between Dunk and Egg, that was hilarious. He did say that. Okay, just making sure. The teasing between Dunk and Egg is so good. Their relationship, man, it's crazy how good this is, considering how little amount of screen time we've had. I mean, really, when you think about it, like if you compare it to Game of Thrones or House of the Dragon, and now House of the Dragon, unfortunately, to give it some credit, and it's opening, they did try to really adapt it the way that George wrote it, since he was obviously much more involved in season one. And it is, this long kind of history lesson where you have the characters jumping back and forth. But yeah, shortest episode of the season, and it's my favorite. I mean, we've had Dunk and Egg on screen for like an hour and a half ish. If you consider the credits, exactly how long the screen times are, and their chemistry is just phenomenal. It's so good. I literally have notes here because I literally just type up my notes. I said I could watch this all day, all day. Just Dunk and Egg grilling and eating with the eggs. Then Dunk and the guy next to him, where he kind of slaps him, it's like, and then he gives him the drink, and then he spits it out. The musing, the jousting, the tone of this show is just so good. Let's see here. Dunk talking about dreaming of the future is too good. And then Dunk had offered to throw a match. And so that Egg training scene was great. Yeah, like I said, one of the best montages I've seen in a while. I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. The extended conversation and synchronicity between Egg and the horse. Great. Loved it. But go back here, just going through my notes. Dunk getting offered to throw a match. Now, that is a small little thing that they kind of like expanded. I'm trying to remember. I'm pretty sure that's not in the books, but it maybe it is, and I'm just misremembering it. But obviously that kind of that'll tie into season 3. So maybe that'll be a theme, and that will play itself up a little bit more. Let's see here. It'll go over the normies' heads. I think so too. I think I'm interested to see what people say, because and we'll get to all my notes here with the ending. So yeah, let's see. So next week's episode is going to be awesome, coming out earlier to not compete with the Super Bowl. Yeah, I didn't know that even that was happening. I just assumed it was on Sunday, but people in here are saying that it's coming out Friday, which I think is great. I think that is a very good idea. Not, don't try to compete with the Super Bowl, especially this Super Bowl. I mean, I think it's going to be a big one because I mean, unfortunately, New England's in it, but it's not like Tom Brady, So I feel like people are kind of excited about the teams that are in it at least. Same time Friday. I don't know. I haven't looked at that yet. So maybe somebody in the chat will know. Okay. Some other things here. I think they did a great job of setting up Arian as the villain, setting him up immediately. Egg was yelling, kill him, which he does in the books. And then he kills the horse. We got a little extra Lionel Baratheon scene, right? Just a little bit of Lionel Baratheon, a little bit of him goes a long way, and it's so good. Then they have Dunk and Egg have this really good conversation where they're talking about the song and the meaning of it. And that was like, man, Dunk has this line. I couldn't write down all of it because I was just watching it and trying to pay attention. Hope belongs to all who invoke it. Man, they do so much with such few lines. That's the best thing about this show is they make every minute matter. There's never downtime. There's never a lull. It's one of the best paced shows I've ever seen. I mean, not just for like Game of Thrones. I mean, everything matters. And then, yeah, we get to the fortune teller. That was insane. I literally have like, holy fortune teller. You shall be king. You shall know great success. And then Doug's just kind of like, yeah, whatever. They brush it off. And then he's having that conversation where he's talking about how terrible the Targaryens are. And then immediately he has to run out and deal. He immediately has to run out and deal with it. And then the reveal, little different, I would say. In the book, I mean, obviously it goes down kind of the same way, but it the way I've always felt like it happens in the book is that, it's like Dunk punches him and then immediately he kind of gets thrown into prison and then he's talking to Egg and he explains the whole situation. I mean, it's still kind of the same, but it just felt different seeing it on screen. Maybe it's just how I thought it, but I thought it was great. And then you get the reveal, and I literally just at the end of my notes, I just have peak written, just peak. So yeah. Okay. So Ryan looked it up here. Episode 4 of Night of the Seven Kingdoms will premiere early globally on HBO Max Friday, February 6th at 12:01 Pacific time, 3 a.m. Eastern, instead of the respective HBO airings on Super Bowl Sunday, February the 8th. So yes. Yeah. Thank you very much. And I'll leave that up until we get some other comments. Whew. Great. Epic. Phenomenal. What an amazing episode. Let me go see what people are saying about it. Online. Last week, it was like Sir Arlen's sword was the talk of the town. We'll see what people are saying if I can, if I can spell it correctly, of course. Night of the Seven Kingdoms. Let's go to Twitter here. We'll just share the screen. Share the screen here. No, not invite guests. Where's my share screen button? There we go. Sorry. Share screen. Let's see what people on Twitter are saying. A Night of the Seven Kingdoms is so good, it makes me want Gurm to finish A Song of Ice and Fire even more and have HBO redo the last season of Game of Thrones. We know that's not going to happen. Night of the Seven Kingdoms is perfect. It's truly been A Song of Ice and Fire fans' dream come true. People upset at Arian. Yeah, how do you guys feel about him? I mean, already, he's had really short screen time when you think about it, but I would say so far, I feel like, man, he's right there with Kristen Cole and Joffrey and Ramsay. You're already like, I hate this guy. A Night of the Seven Kingdoms episode 3 reveals the true identity of, keep going here. The end. So these is people, remember, a lot of these people are people who haven't seen it. Ira Parker has done a great job. Yeah, it's It's fantastic. I haven't watched the teaser for the next one yet. And I don't want to watch that because then they'll come in and flag this. People in the Seven Kingdoms is comedy gold. Is the best one so far by a wide margin. The relationship between Dunk and Egg reaches a point that provides a lot of great material for the future of the series. On top of that, it delivers some major surprises with the characters and their future. Yes, I mean, it feels like everyone is getting good. H doesn't ruin it. Yeah, so I would say the tone online seems to be, this was definitely the best episode. I'll pull up our poll and see just how many votes they had. We don't get a ton just because it's, again, it's pretty late still for a lot of people. 10 votes, 91% so far. I'm sure we'll get some more in here, but let me do it this way. Hold on, there we go. Yeah. There's a moment in the episode I swear Egg has purple eyes. I'm gonna have to rewatch it. I rewatch it every week anyway, because that way Jimmy and I, when we record tomorrow, I can talk to it about it fresh, and I've gone over it a second time because I feel, last time I got so much more in watching it, but this was a jam-packed episode, really, for how short it was. I mean, it was absolutely jam-packed. I will say my wife, and she was like running into, like, she has like a late work meeting, and she's super casual, but I mean, she looked at me. She looked at me and she was just like, yeah, that was good. And so I view her as like an ultra casual, viewer. And she looked right at me and she was just like, yeah, that was good. So this for me is like, I mean, it's up there. I feel right now after watching that, like, and I think a lot of it had to do with that summer hall thing. I thought that was huge. I was like, oh my God. Cause it didn't like change anything that the hardcore, if you're watching this live stream, you're definitely in the hardcore crowd. It didn't change anything that we didn't already know. And it didn't necessarily do anything to like impact the story. So go back to House of the Dragon, like the dagger and it being Aegon's prophecy. That is not only a big deal, but it adds so much weight to everything because now it changes a lot of narrative, going forward, because it's a big piece. I actually think we will see that in this show. I'd be surprised if we don't see it in season 3, maybe at some point. I don't know, but let me see. Ryan saying here, for the people who are not feeling the show after last week, I wonder how much this episode changes their mind. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I think it's I felt that the summer hall thing, like it didn't change anything. It's just oh my God, you have to go back to this moment. And as this show goes forward, because remember, a lot of people will just watch the show and that's it. Like that, they tune in, they watch it, they don't read the books, they don't dive into it or anything. But it's also a thing, like that little line right there, probably going to make a lot more book readers, because you have to remember, every new show is going to be a lot of people's first experience with it. Like just how like Andor, I mean, you'd think everyone watches Star Wars, but there's a lot of people who that will be their first Star Wars thing because they watch the new thing. It's like, oh, okay, well, yeah, I'll check it out because they hear it's new and they hear it's good. So like a fandom I use, right, is like, I'll use like Star Trek. Like I know a little bit about it. My mom's hardcore into it, and she'll always be like, "Oh man, you got to watch the new one." And so it'd be like, okay, well maybe I view it as like maybe I'll just watch that. Like you think about something like is can you start with a Better Call Saul, or should you watch Breaking Bad? You know what I mean? So there are shows that are like that where people will start with the new thing and just go with it. Yeah, Andor was fantastic. And that's the thing. You will have a lot of people that are like don't know anything about Star Wars, but they've heard it's good. And so they're just like, okay, all right, I'll give it a try. And then that will be their thing. So there will be a lot of people. Remember, unfortunately, we're all getting older. But you know, it's like there will be a lot of people who the new Harry Potter show will be their first thing. This is probably a lot of people who are like, "Oh, it's Game of Thrones, but it's lighter." Okay, maybe I'll check it out. So, you know, they might hear that line and be like, "Oh, that's crazy," or, you know, whatever. This lady's random because we're viewing it with the eyes of we already know what happens to these people. But viewing it from people who have no idea, there's probably a lot of people that were generally shocked by the fact that Egg is a Targaryen tonight. I mean, we're all like, "Oh man, the reveal was crazy." There's a lot of people that reveal was probably pretty shocking for that are watching right now or going to watch tomorrow morning or because they have no idea because it's their first time. And that's something to think about. So the summer hall thing, like somebody said right here, it probably did go over a lot of people's heads. But for us, it's fantastic because it was this huge reveal. Let me see, man, if anybody else is saying anything. I love Game of Thrones, Night of the Seven Kingdoms. It's let's see. So what some other people are saying. Oh, the Grammys are going on tonight too. Yeah, you have that going on too. So I'm sure that a lot of people are watching it. Unfortunately, I don't think Ghost, by the way, just real quick aside, if you can see it, won their Grammy for their song. What was up with that? That's ridiculous. But nonetheless, tonight's episode was called The Squire. Yeah, I mean, like even some people here saying there at least there's an episode waiting when I get home. So here we go. Another comment. A Night of the Seven Kingdoms is a nice change of pace for the Game of Thrones franchise. It's funny, likable main characters, enjoying it more than House of the Dragon, personally. Let's see here. The reveal is crazy. There was a lot of hints in the last episodes about Egg being a Targaryen. Agreed. There definitely were, you know, because there's probably people again who's watching this for the time who were watching last week because when you see the Targaryen banner and he kind of shies away a little bit and he knows a little bit more about crabbing than perhaps he should. And even today, we had some more of that as well, where he seems to know a lot more about some of the knights and who they are. It's fantastic. The show's so good. Oh, it's so good. Let's see here. Anything else? Yeah, that's just kind of where we're at. Not a lot of talk of it on Twitter. Again, you got to remember it's late on the East Coast, where the majority of people in the country, at least in the United States, live, and the Grammys are going on too. So I can see why maybe you'll hear a lot more buzz about it tomorrow. So, ooh, with that, man, I think that might be an okay place to kind of because otherwise I'm just gonna keep sitting here and saying it was fantastic because that's just generally how I feel. I felt like it was fantastic. So I'll save the rest of my thoughts once I can collect myself more and give it a second watch for Jimmy to talk to Jimmy tomorrow. If you guys have any other comments, you can leave some comments and I can try to bring those up in the episode tomorrow. So with that, hey, thank you guys. It's always fun. Just pop on here and do a quick little reaction with you guys because I think we're all just so hyped, especially after tonight. So stay tuned for the full review tomorrow. And hope you guys have a good evening, good rest of your night. And as always, hey, thank you, by the way, for watching. So with that, guys, see you guys tomorrow. And remember that winter is coming.